So again, thinking of your day again, kind of putting it all back to kind of thinking about the whole day schedule. So again, the night before the race, again though, during the practice, make sure you're eating plenty of carbohydrates. We want about 60% of your calories coming from carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are a good thing when it comes to the athlete. We rely on most of those calories from carbohydrates. So you want to be replacing your body with those carbohydrates on a regular basis. The night before the meet, like I said, make sure you're doing the pasta, potatoes, rice, that type of, or a Subway sandwich with the bread, that type of thing the night before anyway. You want some carbohydrates in that diet for sure. The day of the race, like I said, depending on your time frame, if you've got a race an hour between, like I said, again, focusing on those again, your breads, your donuts, your bagels, not the donuts. So the fruit snacks, that type of thing anyway. Rely on those. Wait for the hot dogs, the pizza, when you have a little bit longer break anyway.
Granola bars?
What's that?
Granola bars.
Granola bars. A low-fat granola bar is very smart. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. Otherwise, any questions? You guys okay with everything?
Maybe I missed it. What were they supposed to have after Chuck makes them work for 5 hours swimming? Or an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. Anyway, what are they supposed to eat afterwards to help replenish their body?
With all of that, through the glycogen stores, you want the carbohydrates, but you also want some protein with that. And so, like I said, the spaghetti with meat sauce, your meat, potato, vegetable type meal, absolutely. That's the route you want to go. So I don't want, like I said, and ideally to eat within 2 hours. After a workout like that. More of those carbohydrates are going to be stored with the combination of carbohydrates and protein, and again, if you're eating within 2 hours. Your glycogen stores will be rebuilt. So,
we had gone to a swim camp and they had mentioned that like the chocolate milk, almost immediately when you get out of the pool, you should be drinking the chocolate milk, and you shouldn't make your body wait more than like a half hour after you're done with the workout.
Okay. I have not seen specific time frame anyway.
That's a lot of, I think a lot of colleges and different programs are doing that based on, if you do a 2-hour practice and you've really hammered them, I'm sure it's the same basis as the 2 hours, with the chocolate milk, you've got everything there, it's self-contained, and it gets the glycogen upload
with
a
the
lot
protein.
more efficiently, supposedly. But
yeah, no, it's good. And yeah, so whether it's the chocolate milk or even some of those sports drinks that are a combination of carbohydrates as well as protein, same thing with those anyway.
And then you kind of mentioned it, and they also talked about how you should be drinking preferably Gatorade while you're at practice.
That intense type workout, yes. A swim meet, like I said, you got a lot of carbohydrate stores in you, and like I said, really losing the sodium and potassium, losing those electrolytes, you got to be working out quite a while before your body will lose those. And so during an intense workout, I don't have any problems with the Gatorade afterwards. And like I said, just watch it. Your body, to be honest with you, really doesn't need the Gatorade during a race day. So
I guess they had kind of talked like after hours of practice, because they had one of the ladies that was the instructor, parents were there, had been a swimmer in college and was, had Olympic trials, and they had weighed some. There was a gal that didn't believe how much weight that they would lose from sweating.
Yeah.
During an intense workout, and they weighed her before and afterwards.
And to replace those, right, and that's ideal. Really, that's what they really do recommend. To replace all of those lost fluids. Weigh yourself before, weigh yourself afterwards, and definitely replacing. Yes. So yeah, because even like I said, even swimmers, you guys are going through an intense practice, and you're going to be losing a lot of that water weight. So yeah, you want to replace that. So. What other things did you guys learn? I'm kind of curious too. I have to admit, my girlfriend. I've got a girlfriend that does triathlons. And I was trying to get a hold of her this last week. It's like, okay, what other tidbits can you give me? So,
I just had a question along the same lines as terms of, you know, with swimmers having a late practice, they're coming home 9:30 to 10, well, we're not going to be on it. So, peanut butter toast, something like that, I mean, what do you suggest for late practice? One thing to have a snack then and eat.
right? Can they fit in? How are they feeling if they eat 2-3 hours beforehand? So they eat it.
Yeah, they're eating really good.
Yeah. Yep. And then but after the practice, I would still look at some protein. You know, sandwich. There's nothing wrong with sandwiches. You know, your lean meats. You get your buns, bread. Yeah, absolutely. What other things that we can? What other things have you guys learned from experience or from other talks?
Well, I've heard some controversy about Gatorade, whether it's good or really a healthy drink or not.
For a heavy workout, I don't have any problems with that. But really, one of the articles that I was reading said that, if I remember it correctly, you have to work out for like 4 hours before your body really needs those electrolytes replaced. You really don't need it, but yet it does have a lot of the sugars in it and everything, you know. And so moderation is usually what I always say to kids. On the soccer field, it kills me when I see a child with a Gatorade, or a jug full of Gatorade. They just don't, they're not getting a workout. You know, they're running around the field periodically for an hour. You're not sweating enough to need those electrolytes, and they usually don't need enough sugars in their diet. And same thing with swimmers, to be truthful about it.
Could you maybe explain the effect that sugar has on performance? Sugar beyond your normal carbohydrate storage?
Uh-huh. Such as, what have you read or?
Well, that you spike.
The
It's
spike.
counterproductive, and you actually.
You're going to
don't
get that
perform
quick
as well.
surge of energy is what he's referring to, of course. You're going to feel pretty energetic. And then all of a sudden you bottom out pretty quickly because of what that instant sugar does to those blood sugars. I mean, you go up real quickly, so you have lots of energy, but usually within a short period of time, you're coming crashing down, and so then you start really feeling, you know, more tired, and just don't have that energy anyway. So like I said, careful with those Gatorades. So, anything else? Did I answer?
No, I do the same thing. In fact, Aaron hates it, but we talk about, I generally, if I buy him a Gatorade, I'll get him a G2 or one of the lower
Right.
sugar.
And that is
They still have the electrolyte content, but less
yes.
sugar.
So that would be a wonderful, wonderful substitution on those days. Whether it's Powerade has come out with the lower sugar also.
They're even sugar-free
Okay.
drinks now.
Powerade Zero or the G2s. There again, you're getting the electrolytes that you might be losing, but yet you're not getting all of that instant sugar anyway. Those are a very smart route to go.
They actually recommended Crystal Light too.
Okay. And again, primarily because of the fluids. There's nothing else really in Crystal Light.